What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today I'm coming at you with a WIP in chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat for about an hour. First, I want to welcome you to the craft room upstairs, or my room. I'm very super excited about it. I will give you a little bit of a tour here in just a moment. Hopefully I won't make you nauseous by moving you around and showing you some things. But, you know, I wanted to at least get you a glimpse of where I'm at, my little battle station here, and show you around. But shuffling the tarot cards so that I can get us a thought for the week, this week, and then get started on my square. I will go over my tools before I get too far and let you know what I'm working with. I'm just shuffling until I feel like it's time to stop. Normally I have this done beforehand, but you know, why not? All right, let's see. I feel like, oh, that feels right. Whatever that is on the top. We'll get to that in a little bit here. But let me go through my tools really quickly here. I have a pen here from Diamond Pen Pal. Diamond Pen Pal is one of the sponsors of Mary Morales going on right now, an event, and it is celebrating the beautiful works of Margaret Morales. This is the Satura pen from Diamond Pen Pal. In my single placer here, I am using Ghost from Diamond Painting Daily. You can find Diamond Pen Pal and Diamond Painting Daily over on Etsy. This is like a glue dot. It's a liquid that turns solid. It goes from white to clear, hence the name Ghost, and I love this stuff. And then in my multi-placer, I am using Putty Crocker's Boutique and more, the Putty Gold, which is the hard presser formula in the scent of Viva la Juicy. It smells like 2002 mall hooker. No, but kind of it does. The diamond painting that I am working on is Oleander by Margaret Morales. Let's see if I can get you a picture here. Oleander, she is a 55.6 by 78.7 centimeters in round and 74 colors. I haven't changed out a whole lot for specials. I did put a couple of little like torch sparklers in there, but I'll put a few in her eyes, maybe, you know, the orangey parts, but for the most part, I'm just going to leave it how it's charted. Oh, my tray, whoops, is from Ephemera 3D. This is the Deep 6 from Ephemera 3D. I have another Deep 6 here, but it's one of those things, like, it's harder to use when I have to concentrate on multiple things, but it has a removable lid. It's really cool, and I realized that these, like, tabs in the top of it, there's, like, bumps. There's these things on the bottom, divots, and you can put your tray on top of your lid so it doesn't have to be like set aside and moved. Now granted, you know, when you pick it up it stays where it's at, but still, isn't that pretty awesome? I love this. This is the upgraded version of the Deep 6 from Ephemera 3D, and so I thought I would at least show it off. We'll put it there so it can still be House of Miscellania, and you know what's going on. Again, my name's Naomi. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Very nice to meet you. If you're coming back to see me, what up? Welcome on back. Oh, in a moment, I'm going to have to turn off my essential oil diffuser because it's getting a little bit cloudy up in here. Let me take you off of the tripod, and I want to show you my craft area. Okay, so for those of you who are newer to the channel, you won't remember, but I used to actually film from up here in the, it was my daughter's bedroom. Now it's my bedroom / craft room. And I was working off of 2 tray tables, the size of the one you see just there. There were 2 of them at the end of my daughter's bed, and I had like my work on one of them and then the computer, my laptop, on the other. But now I have graduated to like an actual desk space. Never mind my unmade bed back there, but I have a whole desk space. And what I did was when I moved upstairs, I decided to put everything in the same place as it was when I was downstairs, so I didn't get lost or anything. But I've got all of my stuff up here in my big old battle station. I'm going to back up a little bit here so you can see. I also have my beautiful little shelf back there. And as you can see, a squeaky floor because my house was built in 1900, but I love it. I'm so happy to have this space. I feel very, very fortunate because I know some people are working off of tray tables like I was a year ago. Ooh, I'll show you in the closet. One second. All right, so before I move into the closet and show you that space, that's Lullaby Touch on top. I'm getting a lot done, actually. Let me unroll her so you can see. Since I don't work on her on lives or WIP and chats, you're only seeing her when I bring her out for live streams. But is that not gorgeous? And as you can see, I've also got the artwork on my laptop, but isn't that beautiful? I love it. It's from DIY Moon Shop, and she is looking absolutely stunning. But oh my god, the confetti, you guys, is real. Okay, let's look in my closet here, and I'll show you a little bit there. That is all of my non-Diamond Art Club stuff. I've got, it's a little messy, so pardon me. That's like all packing things. Down here, I have my spare drills, and these, that's actually my round spare drills. I need to go through those and get them all separated. But I've got my stack of Margaret's here. I've got my regular stash stuff back there, tall boxes there, short boxes there. And then these are the ones that don't have any boxes on those 3 shelves. But I managed to get everything in here, guys, just barely. But yeah, that's my craft closet, messy as it might be. All right, before I put you back on the tripod, I wanted to get you one last look at my little whole battle station here. In fact, the chair that I'm using right there, that's actually a new chair. I was using one from like 1970. It was probably that old, but yeah, I love it. All right, let me get you back up on the tripod. All right, so what did you think about the grand tour, you guys? I'm very excited. And that actually takes me into talking about my week, because I'll tell you what, guys, I am utterly poop-exhausted. I mean, I feel like I stuffed, I don't know, a couple of months worth of work into about, I don't know, 4 days. There's been a lot going on here for a lot of various reasons. Like prior to New Year's Eve, I mentioned that my daughter came over. She moved the remainder of her things over to her own place because she and her boyfriend Arturo, they got their own spot. And so, you know, she wanted to come get her things. Not all of them. She still has stuff in the basement, but it's not in the way. Like, I don't really need her to get everything out or what have you. But she came and got her stuff, and then let me get this. I know. I wanted it there, but like the lamp. There we go. I just need to be able to access. Yeah, I had her come over, she got her things, you know, what have you, and I wanted to get myself moved up here as soon as humanly possible, and I didn't want to be in the middle of a transition, just as, like, live streams were going on, or, you know, I have the Saturday lives where I do prizes and stuff like that. I didn't want to be, you know, halfway between downstairs and upstairs when I needed to do the Saturday live. So I was like, well, let me get going on this so I'm not falling behind. I'm kind of one of those people that when I get a random wild hair up my butt, I'm like, I gotta do it right then. Is anybody else like that, where you get an idea in your head and once the idea is stuck, it's stuck for good? Because I am definitely that kind of person. It's like I can't eat or sleep or think of anything else until I finish the thing that I'm thinking about doing. I don't know if that has a name of some kind, but I can tell you that I fixate on it. And so I definitely fixated on getting myself moved upstairs. And so I did it, and I did it by myself. Like all the things that you see moved up here, including everything in the craft closet, everything on the desk, the chair, everything I did all by myself. And so it was hard work. Like I'm a little more than a little tired, although I think Beans was very confused. Beans is my Great Pyrenees, for those who are unfamiliar. I have 3 dogs, a Great Pyrenees, a Chihuahua, which they're funny next to each other, I gotta tell you, and Bowie is my Border Collie. Bowie doesn't come upstairs a lot. Like, she's not really that adventurous to the upstairs. She just hangs out downstairs. But I have Beans, my Great Pyrenees. He's about 125 pounds. And I don't remember if I said anything last week. Yeah, I think maybe I did. That he's been waking me up at like anywhere from, usually it's 10 a.m. to 10:30. Some days it's earlier, some days it's later. Just kind of depends on what sort of a wild hair he woke up with at that moment. Well, he's still doing the same thing, although he was a little bit, I don't know how to describe it, like a little pouty this morning when he woke me up. Like, I figured he'd wake me up at the normal times because, you know, nothing much has changed, but he got me up. I stayed up for several hours with him, and then he decided to let me take a nap because I was like, oh my God, I only had gotten 3 hours of sleep. I have to sleep some more before the live stream. Like, I just need to get some rest. And he came in here, and normally where my desk and everything was that I just showed you, it was a big blank spot, no carpet, you know, hardwood floor. And he curled up under my desk and sort of pouted there for, I don't know, the whole time that I was sleeping. He just pouted. I woke up later on. Of course, it was dark, so I was like, I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, like what was going on. But I look over and he's still laying under my desk being pouty. And I was like, oh, poor Beans. Poor dude. I'm just grateful that he doesn't think that the bed is a good place for him, because you saw the size of that bed. I can't fit me and another full-sized anything on there, much less 125-pound Great Pyrenees. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but my walls are blank right now. I am trying to figure out a good hanging system for my artwork. I want to try, I think maybe to do, like, this is going to sound really weird, but like curtain rods on the walls, and then shower curtain type clips where they have like rings on them and then clips on the bottom, so that I can hang the artwork that I want to hang, and I don't have to like permanently try and put it in a frame or anything like that. I can change it out. I don't have to worry about, my house was built in 1900, so it's 126 years old now, and I have lath and plaster walls. And when I explain that to people, they sort of tilt their head and look at me like, what? Lath and plaster is when it's very old-timey looking. Like if you were looking at the back side of the wall without the insulation there, obviously, it's like there's studs, the long wood boards, right? The long boards upright, like to make the wall. And then there are these strips of like a material. I'm not sure exactly what it's made of, but then over top of that lath, which is these strips of wood that are placed on there, they use plaster to like sort of seal it in. So it sort of looks like what you think an old-timey wall would look like from the opposite side. That is what my walls are made of. So imagine attempting to hang anything. You really can't unless you find a stud. And so I'm limited to a certain extent on what I can hang and where I can hang it. I have to be aware of where those studs are. And, you know, a diamond painting is quite heavy, so I have to be cognizant of that in particular. And so I'm thinking if I could do something where it would be like a curtain rod or whatever, and then I could hang up what I want to hang up. I like that better because then it's a permanent fixture, but it doesn't have to be a permanent painting. Because I finished so many of them, I could almost have like something up there weekly or monthly. I could change it out, and or it could be like my most recently finished project, what have you. Like that's kind of sort of what I'm thinking I'd like to do for the walls, and I think it's a good idea. I like the idea. My other idea actually was to see if I could get my father-in-law to make me, essentially it would be, how do I describe it? So, you know those pants hangers that you can get where it's for more, like, I don't want to say formal pants, but you would use them for something more formal, where it's two slats of wood, right, on a hanger, and it claps down, like the two pieces of wood clamp together, and then there's like these two clips that you could push down, and it keeps it locked in place. I thought if I could figure something out like that, where I could make it a more permanent sort of structure, not with the hanger on it, but it, like the thing on the wall would be that, those two clamps, and I could clamp something down without having to worry about magnets or, you know, nails or whatever going into the diamond paintings. I like that idea. So, I don't know when or how I'm going to get something like that built or made for the wall, but I've got to get some, you know, dimensions and things like that, obviously. But, you know, if it was big enough to fit something that's like 105 centimeters across or longer, if I wanted, if I had two small paintings, I could put two small paintings together on it, or, you know, whatever at the same time. I don't know. It's a thought. I kind of like the curtain rod idea better, only because I think that it's a little bit more versatile in size, and I don't have to actually like build anything. I would just have to find curtain hangers with those, the rings that have clips on them. But I think that's findable, you know, on Amazon or whatever. So I think that's the way that I'm leaning. I don't know. If you guys have a better idea for the best way to try and, you know, semi-permanently hang diamond paintings on a lath and plaster wall, I am all ears. How do you guys hang up your works if they're not in frames? Like someone had mentioned possibly using like blue tack or something, like alien tape or whatever, but that sounds even really permanent. I'm worried that putting something like that on the plaster, because you could probably see from my walls that there's texturing on the walls, but it's not like, it isn't thick enough that if, I'm just worried that if I pull something off that has nanotape, it might take a chunk out of my wall, and I obviously don't want to do that. I don't want to take chunks out of the wall. So if you're familiar with lath and plaster and you're hanging things up, let me know what you're doing. Because the other option was going to be finding a stud, going to the craft store and having my diamond paintings dry mounted. I think it costs like 14 bucks, somebody said, to get something dry mounted, and then just pay to, I guess, get them all dry mounted. Like that just seems like quite the expense for something that I'd rather just have be semi-permanent instead of permanent. Because if I was going to hang anything permanently, I suppose it would be my Moraleses. Like I would hang all of those, you know. But yeah, let me know if you got a better idea or you do something differently that is a better idea. I am all ears and would love to hear what you guys do. So, I think I'm going to tell a little bit of a story, and, you know, that's what I do. I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about how the channel got its name, and there's actually a reason that I'm telling you guys this story again. Some of you already know it, and some of you have no freaking idea, so I thought, well, why not? Let's tell the origin story one more time. So when I was coming up with channel names, I always kind of knew that I wanted House of Miscellania or Miscellania in the title. In fact, in my journal where I put my diamond paintings, I actually have a YouTube channels for diamond paintings. Those are the ones that I watched at the time. And then somewhere in here, name ideas for marketing and pens, maybe, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do pens. But House of Miscellania Arts, Crafts by Miscellania, Mania and Miscellania, which I still kind of love because I do love me some alliteration. But then I settled on House of Miscellania. It was what my kids had said, my kids' friends had said. Like, I have been described by my kids' friends as like a house mother. There's one in particular, my son's very good friend had described me as like a house mother. She is a young trans woman, and when she was between the ages of like 9 and 11, she lived with us, and then she moved back home for a little while, came back here, moved back home. Like, home wasn't exactly a safe situation. Her mom was a alcoholic, and then for a bit, actually a long bit, her mom got sober and remained sober for about 4 years. And then I would say about maybe 8 months ago, 9 months ago, she had a relapse. Only this time it was worse than alcohol. Well, that friend of my son's, she is, she just turned 20, I believe. Her birthday was on Sunday, or Monday, excuse me. And she was, she's working a job, taking care of things, like was trying to help her mom pay bills and whatnot, and had come home from work. I guess there were a lot of people in the house that she didn't know, and they were using very hard ones, and I don't want to get, pinged by YouTube for saying certain names, so suffice it to say it was not alcohol or like greens. It was hard. And she got into an argument with her mom because she was tired and she wanted to go to sleep, but there were everything from adults, men she didn't know, and I guess teenage girls. And she mentioned that her mom was kind of turning her house into, I guess, what's called a trap house. It was becoming a very, very unsafe situation. And for the, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th time in her life, she gave me a call and asked if she could come and stay for a couple of weeks until she gets some things figured out. And being I guess a house mother, as she described me, I decided that my house name was Miscellania, because forever and ever and ever, my houses, any house that I've ever lived in, has kind of become a safe haven for all kinds of strays. Stray animals, stray people, stray children, and strays have always been welcome here. I've always had a house full of a lot of random tchotchkes and knickknacks and things of that nature. I have very large and strange collections of things, and so it just became a house of Miscellania. And so I thought, in the spirit of my house being a house of Miscellania, that the channel should be a house of Miscellania too. And while, yes, I do focus on diamond painting on this channel, I talk about a lot of different things, and I feel like I'm hoping that, even though this isn't probably where she wants to be, and she's talked about, doing her best to find an apartment and that sort of thing. Excuse me. As long as it's not a permanent thing. Dustin said the same thing, you know, as long as it's not a permanent thing and what have you, then she's welcome to stay here, just like, you know, when she was younger. But I ended up having her come over here on Sunday, and then I was in the middle of moving my stuff upstairs and made room for her downstairs on the couch. I know, it's kind of weird that I have my own room, Dustin has his own room, but like our schedules are so opposite. Like right now, as I'm recording this, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, but Dustin's asleep because he works first shift. So I'm sleeping when he's at work. He's sleeping when I'm at work, technically, because I'm working right now, as this is. And so I have a room and he has a room because I can't sleep in there when he's sleeping in there. And sometimes I go to sleep at, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning, and I can't go crawl into bed when he's an hour from waking up himself. Like, that would just be mean to wake him up an hour before work, like every day. So, yeah, I made up a space for her to stay downstairs for a little while. And it's like, I know this sounds really weird, but I'm also not trying to give somebody like a guest room or make the house super comfortable for somebody else, because I'm not really trying to have another person live here permanently. I'm not saying that that's how it would be, but I'm also not, I don't know, I'm hesitant to let people in because, you know, you don't want to have another person living here and have a 5th adult in the house all the time. I honestly don't mind that she's here, like I said. As long as it's not a permanent thing, we're just fine. But it was nice that she also offered to pay a little something for rent and to help clean if that's what I needed or whatever. And for right now, I just told her, you know, get your feet underneath you and figure out what your next steps are going to be. And the one thing I can say is she did right away start looking at resources for herself to get her own apartment, and you know what I mean, she's going to work like she's supposed to, and I can't fault her for that. I'm hoping that some of that like drive to be an adult and an adult living on their own kind of rubs off on my son a little bit. I'm just saying. But that's more or less just because I want my son and his significant other to want more for themselves, you know? Like, that's what you want as a parent, and that's not me talking crap or anything like that. It's just, you know, I just want them to want more. Anyways, so yeah, my week has been incredibly busy, just moving things, helping things. Oh, I just found this out today, which is why it wasn't like top of the brain immediately as I was talking about stuff. Dustin asked me when he got home from work today if his mom had called me, and I was like, what's up? He's like, did she tell you about Dad? And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with your dad? Well, apparently his dad was complaining of chest pains at like 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday morning. And his mom called an ambulance for him because they were worried that it was a heart attack. And as it turns out, they took him up to the hospital because there's a cardiologist on staff at the Mercy Hospital, but not at the like St. Mary's Dean Hospital. So they took him up to Mercy, which he hates going there. I don't blame him. It's not, like, neither of our hospital systems are all that wonderful, but of the two, definitely St. Mary's Dean is a lot better than Mercy is. That being said, they did a bunch of tests and checked on things, you know, whatever. Turns out he has pneumonia. I don't know what caused it. I know that he is the kind of person who, like, will not go to the freaking doctor unless his arms or legs are falling off. So it was probably worse than I think it is, right? Because he doesn't go in until it's like dire situation. So he is currently in the hospital with pneumonia. My mother-in-law, she's healed magnificently from her knee surgery. Like, she's walking better than I've seen her walk in years. Like, even when they go on walks, she no longer uses her walker. Like, she uses a cane, which she hasn't been able to do in ages. So it's a massive improvement. I do know that my father-in-law has been, well, one, working in the garage quite a bit. He's got like the heater, he's got like a propane heater in there, but he's been working with walnut. And for those of you who are not like super familiar with working with wood, you're supposed to wear a respirator when you work with walnut, because if you inhale the sawdust from walnut, like, it can be very, very dangerous to you. And when I was over there the other day, I went to go get an Allen wrench to rebuild the desk because I couldn't find the Allen wrench that it came with. So I was like, hey, do you have an Allen ring by any chance? I need to borrow an Allen wrench set. And he's like, oh, no, come on over, I'll give you one. Okay, cool. Well, when I got over there, he was using a planer, which is like, if you have, let's say, something wood and it's got bumps in it or whatever, you use a planer to make it flat, completely, perfectly flat. And he was using the planer on this bench that he's building, the back of the bench, and it is made of walnut and ash, I think. And he's using the planer or whatever, and he was wearing like a face mask like you'd use for like nurses, you know, like COVID mask, like that sort of face mask, not a respirator. And I even gave him shit. At the time, I was like, aren't you supposed to be wearing a respirator with walnut? He's like, oh, I'm fine, I got this. Okay. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that that contributed to the pneumonia, but I'm certain it could not have helped the situation. But I'm glad that it wasn't heart problems. I know that they're planning a trip back down to Florida in the middle of February. I think the 15th is what their goal was, to leave in February. And so I'm really hoping that he's feeling better by then. I mean, granted, that's a few weeks from now, like 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. So I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll see to it that he's fine. But they're planning on going down until June, I think. May or June. So, yeah. I know he was making the bench for the person that they're going down to stay with in Florida. And so I know it was important to him that he get that bench done. So I'm sure he's been pushing, because that's what he does. He pushes and pushes. And then, you know, like, they hosted Christmas, they hosted Thanksgiving, they hosted New Year's Eve. He always cooks the food. Like, it's a whole thing. And so I think sometimes he just forgets to, like, stop, you know, to rest and to breathe and relax a little bit. Like, he goes. And so I'm just hoping that, and I don't think it'll teach him anything, honestly. I think he will keep going like he's always gone, because that's the person that he is. Dustin's the same way. But maybe it will at least show him that, you know, if you're having issues, maybe you go get it looked at sooner instead of waiting for possible, squeaky chair. It's important to get those things looked at before they're a huge issue, not needing to go in an ambulance to the hospital with what could be heart issues, you know. It also scares me too, because I lost my mom to a heart attack, but she was in the hospital when she had the heart attack that she ended up dying from. So freaked me out just a little bit. So it's been a very hectic and kind of just emotionally taxing week too, you know. Honestly, like today, for the first time in 4 days, really, I finally got to sit down and do a little diamond painting. And then, you know, I diamond painted during the live. I did this square over here of oleander, and that was like the first square I had done on either of my Moraleses or even Crystal from Ever After. I hadn't really done anything on anything prior to that, so it was nice to sit down. But I actually worked on my Butterflies edition from Paint Gem, and so I got like, I don't know, a few of those done after just not being able to sit down and concentrate on anything diamond painting. It was a nice just way to relax and decompress a little bit. I forgot how much I honestly need diamond painting in my life, because yeah, it's just like a chance for me to breathe. It was also nice to catch up with people in Discord and stuff like that, because I hadn't done much of that either. More or less, it's just been running around the house, getting things moved, getting things cleaned, getting things set up for a guest, like getting just everything done. And so I'm very happy to be in my own space. I don't so much have to worry about, you know, like noises going on or kicking people out of the living room when I need to record an hour-long WIP and chat. Like, they can be awake and out if they want to be. Whereas, you know, when I was doing my WIP and chats, it was like, or even the live streams, everybody would have to be quiet. It's like, you know, try not to move around everywhere, like whatever. And now I don't have to worry. I can just be up here. And while I do miss like being down, seeing what everybody's doing and checking in with everybody and whatever, sometimes it's good just to have a space that's my space, you know, and not to have to share it with anybody. So I am very grateful. I know how lucky I am. I know that there are people who would slap their neighbors for a space of their own. And so trust and believe that I do not take any of this for granted. I know it's rare to have a space that's yours. I feel like, you know, I had my 2 kids are grown up now, not grown up, but they're grown up enough. And so I feel like I've also kind of earned that space. You know, eventually, like, you raise your kids so that they'll move out on their own and do their own thing, and you'll have a space to yourself finally, or, you know, time to do what you want to do. And so I'm lucky in that I am at that part of my life now. But trust and believe that I know it is a luxury to have a space with an extra bedroom or whatnot to make it into a craft room instead of another kid that needs to grow up in it, or an ailing parent or grandparent that needs to be moved in. I know that it's a luxury. And so trust me that I do not look that gift horse in the mouth. I really don't. But when you're feeling overwhelmed, or like you've had a really busy week, or just too much movement and you need to recharge, where do you go to do that? And is it diamond painting that you turn to in order to seek that quiet space? Or is there something else that you do in order to kind of decompress that? I'm curious. Do tell. It's like I hit 45 on my last birthday, which was beginning of December. And in a way, you know, I feel like, oh man, now I'm old. You know, whatever. I'm 45, getting closer to 50. But at the same time, I feel like I'm so young to have all of these things I want to do and all of these places I want to see and whatnot. And my kids are grown up now, so I have the opportunity. And then part of me goes like, but I'd rather be at home in the quiet and diamond painting in my own quiet space, enjoying, you know, just my own happy place. So do tell me, what do you do when you feel overwhelmed? Like, do you have a space that you're able to go to? Or I'd say my other go-to place is the bathtub. I love to lay in a bathtub. I think it's my favorite, one of my favorite things. Today on my live stream, we talked about, I wouldn't say plans for 2026, but definitely we talked about kind of some intentions for the year. And I talked about my intentions to work on some pieces in my stash that are older. And I feel like there are a few I've got my eyes on that I might want to pull out. But I was thinking, like, I have some pieces from a company that's closed now. It's called Lazy River Crafts. And there's pieces from artists that I really love from there. And I'm thinking Karen Yumi Lusted is one of the artists this year that I'd like to give her some love, because I do have a lot of Karen Yumi Lusted pieces. But I was saying on the live, and this is because not all of you are at my live streams, I want to see this year, for any of you that might have them, desperate to see some Serendipity the artist get worked on. She was at Art and Soul. I only had one piece from her, and I've already done it. It was a Halloween piece that Art and Soul had sent me for an unboxing. But I'd love to see some Serendipity the artist. She's not at any diamond painting companies right now. I have tried to write to her to see if, like, she would be interested in signing anywhere else. Like, I would make connections if I needed to, but I can't get her to answer a freaking message. I'm like, dang it. I've sent her messages on Instagram that have gone unread, and I'm like, dang it. There are so many pieces by her that I would love to have. Also, Ultramar. I would love to see some people work on Ultramar this year, like some finishes. I'd love to see that. And I don't even see people unboxing Ultramar. I only have 2 pieces by Ultramar, and I'm not going to work on, I might work on one, but then, like, I won't have but one more in my stash. Like, I'm not trying to run myself out of Ultramar. So if you're out there and you have Ultramar or Serendipity the artist, please, please let me know. And then will you, like, work on one of them for me, please? I'm going to work on Karen Yumi Lusted. Also, would love to see some more. What else do I want to see some more of this year? Ultramar, Karen Yumi Lusted, and Serendipity the artist. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know there are some Ultramar pieces at Jada Gem Shop. Those ones are not really to my taste. And the one that I really liked from Bella Art Diamonds, I already own it. Cotton Candy Fish. I'm not as crazy about the other pieces that she has. And so the Ultramar pieces that I like are more of the like cosmic looking ones. She's got so many good pieces. Oh my goodness. But yeah, if you have Ultramar, or if you have Serendipity the artist, please let me know and send me pictures. I'm dying to see some finishes from either of those two artists this year, or even if you have them from last year. But I don't see a lot of YouTubers talking about either of them, and I love them so much. I do. I mean, I would even do like an Ultramar event if I had time. I mean, maybe it would be like a month-long thing. I wouldn't be able to do more than that because holy crap, I only have 2 pieces. So in order to make it even last as a 2-year event, I would have to only do a 1-month event sort of situation. But I wish I had more. I wish I had more. If you want to send me your Ultramar pieces, go right for it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, excuse me. So yeah, other goals, Lisette from Lisette Crafts and Tells, she is running a Refresh Your Stash challenge for 2026. Please go and check out Lisette on her channel if you're interested. I mean, I'm not officially doing like her Refresh Your Stash challenge event or whatever, but I think it's always a good idea. I think every year you should go through and pick out some of your older things and work on them, because there's so many changes in diamond painting companies each year. Even like the differences just from 2023 to now are huge. And so, you know, I also would like to work on some of my older pieces. I mentioned before that I want to work on rounds. I do still want to work on rounds. I'm thinking the second most popular artist in my stash is Chrysabug. And so I think I want to work on both Goddess of Spring and Goddess of the Underworld, or Queen of the Underworld, excuse me. I want to work on both of those because one of them is around. I'm pretty sure Queen of the Underworld is around, I think. It doesn't matter. Even if it's a square, it's an old square, so fine. All good. I'm not going to not work on squares this year. I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, there's no freaking way that I would be able to just not work on any squares at all. So I'm not saying I'm not working on any squares, but I want to work on more rounds than squares. And then one way or the other, they're both older pieces, and it's her old art version of Persephone. So I want to do those from Chrysabug. I think I want to work on my Heather Hitchman, Birth of Teratov Corinne. I think I also want to work on Beautifully Broken by Aristocady. And that one that's an old piece. I have a feeling that those might even be acrylic drills from Diamond Art Club. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that those are both going to be acrylics. And so I'm making some tentative plans, and nothing is set in stone. I mean, I'm going to work on what I feel like working on, because my other intention for this year is not so much to, I don't want to work on things that I'm working on just because this or that reason. Like, I just kind of want to work on things at whatever my pace happens to be, slow or fast. I want to work on things a little bit older, but not everything older. I want to, I also want to make sure that I am showing off artists that I'm really loving, and then allowing myself to take breaks from diamond painting if that's what I want to do without guilt. Because last year, whenever I would, like, air quotes, skip a day or skip a week or whatever, I would start to feel really guilty about it. And it's like, why am I feeling guilty about skipping out on a hobby? The other thing, I'm going to decide much sooner if I am not enjoying a kit that I'm not going to work on that kit, period. I don't want to push myself. I don't want to be pushed. I don't want to be like bothered about it. Like, if I just decide I don't want to work on a piece, then I'm not going to work on a piece. The end. You know? And if I decide to throw it away, although I will, before I just straight up throw something out, I would ask if somebody wanted to finish it or whatever. They don't have to send it back to me. They don't have to feel obligated to work on it even. If I was going to throw it away anyways, like, whatever, fine. But I definitely would like to, if I'm not enjoying something, to just, like, stop, you know? Don't force it. Don't push it, because I want to make sure that this channel and this hobby are something that lasts for me, that it's something that I don't burn out from, and I'd like there to be longevity, you know? I want to be one of those YouTubers who stays around for a long time. Now, sure, there's going to be some YouTubers who they go, oh, well, you know, I've been doing diamond painting for so long. Now I'm going to start doing scrapbooking, or I'm going to turn this into a, I don't know, a freaking paper mache channel, or whatever they decide to do. I would really like to just keep going at what I'm doing. I think that the hobby, well, the base of it is always going to be pretty much the same. I think that there will be enough changes in companies, enough changes in quality and things like that, that, you know, it'll be just as interesting, I hope, 5 years from now as it is now. Or at least that's what I'd like to see happen. One would hope. Otherwise, this, you just never know. This might become House of Miscellania Animal Crossing channel or something. That's my fallback. It's like Animal Crossing. I do love some Animal Crossing, though. I cannot wait for the update. The update is due out on the 15th, which is in like 8 days. I am peeing myself with excitement. I'm so very stoked about that. And I just... Did any of you guys play Animal Crossing? Are you Animal Crossing people? If so, who's your favorite villager? My favorite villager... well, I have a couple. Ooh, bumped ya. I have a couple of favorite characters, villagers. One is Ione, excuse me. Ione is the squirrel that has like a galaxy swirl on her tail. She is adorable. And then there is Judy. Judy looks like... what's the best way to describe Judy? Judy is a cute little bear, and she's pink and blue and purple, and she looks like a pink and blue snow cone. So stankin' cute. I love Judy. I love Sherb. Sherb is a blue, like, lazy goat. So cute. Oh my gosh. I love Bo. Bo is another lazy, but he's like an antelope, I feel like. I'm not sure. I think he's an antelope or a deer. He's a deer type, which, you know, they could be a goat, or they could be not a zebra, but like just whatever. They're a deer type, but Bo, he is the cutest as well. I love too many of them, really is what it is. Raymond is adorable. He's the cat that has heterochromia. I love him too. but they're doing this update, this 3.0 update, in lieu of a brand new game for the Switch 2, which is fine because I don't have a Switch 2 yet. I can't afford a Switch 2 yet. I'd love to be able to afford a Switch 2, but I cannot get one. And so oh my gosh. I'm glad that they're doing a 3.0 update. I'm really looking forward to playing it, and I may take a hiatus from some diamond painting. This will be more than likely after the 1st of February because the event will be over. I won't feel like I need to work on anything in particular. I won't have any kind of a specific schedule, but I will definitely be able to play some Animal Crossing because I'm really looking forward to the update. It's like they've made your dock in your village bigger, and well, they will have made your dock bigger, and then bigger dock, and you're gonna be helping Capin's family with their their dockside hotel. I'm really excited about that. It's another decorating sim that you do on Animal Crossing via, it's sort of like Happy Homes Paradise, which was the downloadable content for Animal Crossing from I don't know, 4 years ago. It was their response to not coming out with another Animal Crossing, whatever, 4 years ago. But it's so... I loved Happy Homes Academy. I loved all of the additional decorating things that you were given. And so this time there's even more things to decorate. You get to have island visitors that are just sort of wandering around your island. You get more dream islands. You can start a dream island fresh so that you don't have to start a new... I have my original island from when I first started playing Animal Crossing. I never deleted it. I never got rid of it. I actually haven't finished it yet, but I can't. I have a second Switch that I have a copy of Animal Crossing on that I've done lots of different islands and things, but being able to have another set of islands via your original, Switch or whatever is big, because then I don't have to get rid of my original island and I can keep playing on that same Switch, and I can try out new and different things. You can pick different sized islands. It's so many good updates for 3.0. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go watch some YouTube videos on Crossing Channel is a good one. You get some information about that update. But look at that, I finished my square, and time to read a tarot card right before I call it quits. All right, so we've got our card here. Let's see what it is. Oh, butt. There's a butt crack. And boobies. Ooh, boobies. She has some tiggle bitties there. A couple boobies. The Bright Mother is what this card is, and it's upright. Sorry, there are so many boobs, or I would show you the whole card and a butt crack. I mean, it's artistic butt crack, but I won't leave it upright like I normally do. It's called the Bright Mother. 16. That's interesting. Maybe it's because I was talking about being the House of Miscellania and being a house mother. Let's see what it says. The Bright Mother, creativity, nurturing, productivity, intimacy, and sheltering are the key words. When the Bright Mother is present in a reading, she speaks of a time of fertility, creativity, and nurturing of ourselves or of others. She might indicate marriage or the birth of a child or a deepening of any kind of a relationship. She also speaks of giving one's all to life, not holding back. She is like a cornucopia, pouring forth abundance. This may be a time to put the needs of others first, taking care of yourself later. Patience may be needed for the process being discussed. Consider what you have. Acknowledge the people and things in your life, good, bad, and indifferent. This consideration is not to judge, approve, or reject, but merely to recognize what is present in your life. These are your present fulfillments, the things you have created for yourself, drawing upon the power of unity and the singers, or not, as the case may be, Once you have looked clearly at what is present in your life, you may want to ask yourself what you want to change. Interesting. So being cognizant of what you have, what you don't, what's good, what's bad, taking inventory. And I feel like I'm always taking inventory, like I'm always kind of taking stock of things and trying to be grateful. And so I hope that I can continue to do that and be nurturing and kind and creative and productive. And I hope the same for you. I really do. I don't know if you've got some fertility going on, but wear your protection, children. Anyways, all right, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you massively, and I hope that you're having a terrific morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. All right, guys, much love. See you later. Bye.